Hey everybody, Ryan Madora here, and welcome back to another lesson. Today we are going to explore one of my all-time favorite George Porter Jr. bass lines to the track Sneakin' Sally Through the Alley, and this was, the title track of the Robert Palmer record produced by Alan Toussaint, and I think it's just like such a cool, funky bass line, so we're going to talk a little bit about it, and then also use it as some inspiration for some other things that we could do if we were to create some of our own funk bass lines. So if you want to get tab, notation, anything like that, head over to my Patreon page, you can find it there, and support what we do here at this channel. In the meantime, hit subscribe, check out the other videos, but we're going to dig into this line right here. So the important thing to note is that we have kind of like an exploration in the key of what I call B funky, because yeah, we are going to be funky with this groove, but in reality, it's this thing that is neither totally major nor minor. So we're in the key of B, and I'm going to orient myself here, and then throw the octave on top. And, when I'm playing in something that's funky, I kind of like to explore both like the minor pentatonic and then also a dominant chord. And so that kind of like gives me some options in terms of hearing what it would sound like if I used both the major and minor third, where I'm kind of doing a little minor third, major third slide, and then also knowing that like, yeah, we kind of are going to play some to our minor chords here. So having a minor scale or a minor pentatonic scale under your fingers here is great. So the main part of this bass line, I think kind of, in my mind, exists in two ways. The first part, which isn't too hard and also just follows the chord, and then the second part where, George Porter puts in this little funky riff that sounds really cool, and that's usually the thing that, if you're gonna mess it up, it's gonna be there. So we're gonna try not to do that. But the main part of the groove, we're playing the root, we're playing the octave, we're playing the flat 7, we're playing the fourth, the flat third, and then we're going to do our little funky thing. But to get started, you can kind of see that I'm speaking in intervals. I'm speaking in saying like, oh, the fourth, and when I say that, I'm really saying, oh, we're playing in B funky, the fourth is going to be this E here, the flat third or the minor third is going to be the D here, and that's going to kind of like follow the chord progression that's happening, and we're just playing root notes. So to begin, we have a nice quick root note vibe. We're going to play the octave, the flat 7th, back to the octave, root note on the 4, root note on the flat 3rd, and now the second part of the groove, I'm going to break that down, because this is where things get a little bit tricky, but we're basically sticking with these same notes, like the root, the fourth, and the third. The thing that's interesting is we're playing both our minor and our major third. So before, when I said, oh, we're in like B funky, it's really not definitively major nor minor, but what we're doing is we're taking advantage of like that funk and that dissonance that happens when we slide from the minor third, which is the D, up to the major third, the D sharp. So for this little line, what I'm doing is I'm playing the fourth to the root, or this E to B, and then the D sliding into the D sharp, and then playing the B again. From a fingering standpoint, I like to use my ring finger, my middle finger, and then my index finger for the slide. You could also bounce your ring finger here. But basically, it's really good to use just that single finger, that index finger, for the slide, because it's a little bit less choppy if you do that way. And I do think I like to settle on ring, middle, index, and then middle, so that I can bring my ring finger to restart the line. So it's going to play that phrase twice, and then we're going to play this little guy, which I'm basically playing the root note, the fifth, the flat 7th, and then back to the root, and then I'll kind of go to the low B to restart the groove. So there it is. And and then I come down here. So the important thing is to make sure you land with the pinky here so that you can bring your index finger down below. And there it is. So there's a lot you can do to get funky with this, but this is the main part of the groove. You know, you saw in the intro video that I was kind of playing around with some other stuff just to explore the space, but think about using be funky, playing to the notes of the dominant chord, playing to the notes of the minor pentatonic if you're going to improvise on your own, but this is the crux of that groove. So I hope you dug this. If you want to get tab notation, head over to my Patreon page, and in the meantime, happy practicing, keep it groovy.